Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of All of a Sudden. This is episode number 70. As you can see, my co-host Joe is not here today. That's because he's, busy making that money. He just got a new job, and he just got promoted, so now he's working nights.
Yeah.
But as you can see now, I have Jeremiah. Really big into film and stuff like that. We always, whenever we get together, we always like discussing a lot of different filmmaking techniques and filmography and stuff like that. And I know we played a joke on him last week by saying how awful Tenet was. I know Jeremy, that was his honest opinion, but mine, I liked it, but I could see some of Jeremy's points.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's got some valid points for sure.
So
Yeah.
starting with I guess like the opening, it was very tense. It opens up with that opera scene. It's pretty cool because like you're seeing it's almost like everything's building with the way that the quartet or the orchestra is playing,
Right.
and the moment they stop, that's when everything hits the fan.
Yeah, it's like the bass drop, like action.
hmm and I found that that was very well done. I think if Nolan knows one thing, it's definitely how to utilize uh like background noises. I do have some issues with the movie in terms of like the editing with the dialogue and the sound, because
Yeah.
I understand that was an issue for a lot of people, including
Mhm.
us. It was really hard to hear the dialogue with all this loud noises in the background. But
Yeah.
from what
Yeah.
I would understand, a big part of that was because I think he had originally shot in 35 millimeter, and when it transitioned to digital, it kind of messed with a lot of the backtracking and stuff like that.
So it was technical difficulties. I thought it was artistic choice that he wants you to be so how do you put it, like pulled into the film that you're trying to pick it up. But if it's technical stuff, I think I understand that more.
A big reason why I kind of enjoyed it was a lot of the choreography was pretty good. A lot of obviously the sound design was really good, and a lot of the action was really spot on. Like he really knows how to,
Yeah.
I guess, make a scene kind of come to life. One thing he decided not to do was give the protagonist an actual name. It was crazy because I remember when me and Jeremy were walking out of the theater, we're like, wait, what the hell was his name?
It makes sense because he's a secret agent and it's the
Yeah,
afterlife. And so getting a name is kind of like
it,
it's
there's no
narcissistic,
reason
kind of
for it,
like
right?
James Bond or Ethan Hunt. Like you're not supposed to know these guys. They're not supposed to have a backstory. They're supposed to be secret.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like they're really about the job. And this guy proved it. And for him to have a name and him to have a backstory is kind of like he's not so secret if we know him.
Yeah, like you can definitely appreciate, or you can definitely see like a lot of the whole covert ops stuff. I believe it's even mentioned how we try not to leave a paper trail, because if there's a paper trail, then the people in the future will have an idea and they'll go back and
To that
stop you.
specific time. Yeah,
So that's why I believe he chose not to give him a name, because
yeah,
by him not having a name, it allows him to be safe or
yeah.
whatever.
You can't go back to him. Yeah,
So the whole idea of like Tenet is it's not necessarily just time travel. It has to do with like as things are moving forward, there's also things going backward, and
yeah.
we're just like kind of in the moment or something. I don't know. It was that was one of the discussions me and Germs had about how it's just so cockamamie or whatever.
It's very complicated, and I think that's why the first time I had a hard time. I left the theater frustrated because I was like, "What the happened?"
Yeah.
The main story you could follow it, but I remember leaving and being like, "What was all that about?" Really, really, and the emotional punches that it did pull, I got at the end with Pattinson and uh, John David Washington having that moment where they were like, "We're buddies, but right now I have to go die."
hmm
That hit, but it was still like, what are we doing with the plutonium? What is this bad guy doing it? Why is he doing it? And so when the second time came around and I was sitting there, having knowing what happens at the end and how it connects everything again and made it like 10 times better. And I'm still reeling to figure out, like, there's just so many questions, very complicated, but I think it's accurate because maybe I'm stupid and I can't question, like, there's no way I can disprove Nolan and be like, nah, that's wrong. So I
Yeah,
don't, you know what I
exactly.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he had like all these different dishes that he was making, and he couldn't really focus on all of them, so he just focused on like the main courses, and that was one of the ones that wasn't really fully developed. And I think part of that reason is also because he plans on making this like a series.
That's what I'm thinking too. Even though he hasn't announced it, right? It might be in his plans to tell another couple of stories with this inversion stuff.
I could easily see this movie be like at least a trilogy or something like that from the get go. I mean, we're seeing him go through it all, and then we see already the ending. So, how do we get there? You know, we need all that in between. We need to see when he meets Neil, when he starts to set up everything, and how he ends up sending all this stuff back and then doing it all over again. I guess I have like three questions. Number one, what's your rating on it? How did you like this movie?
We had been away from the theater for so long, and then this was kind of the return to not only a new film, but Nolan doesn't do, aside from the Batman films, he doesn't do remakes or rehashes, or he doesn't really adapt books into film. He writes his own stuff, which is that's hard as to do on your own. And this is his latest one. I was super hyped, so I'm gonna give it like a 9, dude. And then the score, the composer, he
Oh,
worked
I have.
on Ludwig Göransson.
Yeah, I got him right here. I actually have a few of his movies that he did too.
Yeah, Creed,
So he did.
Black Panther.
Yeah, he did the
Yeah,
two Creeds, Black Panther, Venom. Another one is like 30 minutes and less, and a couple other movies. I liked his songs or whatever. Yeah, they were really good, and they fit and they tied well with a lot
yeah.
of the tension, a lot of the suspense, a lot of the action that was going on. There would be times where even his music would kind of just be that little hum that would just like
Hmm.
rise, and then
Yeah,
it was
the
good.
kind of like, I don't want to say a Hans Zimmer
Esque.
ripoff because Zimmer wanted Nolan to use Göransson, but like he did his job well, and it sounded great in IMAX. So I guess my rating is like a 9.5. It's pretty close to perfect.
So I guess with your score, what do you think was well, obviously I'm pretty sure one of his strengths, like you had mentioned, was like the score and stuff. But
Mhm.
what was one of his I guess weaknesses in terms of this film
You
for
hit
you?
it on the nose the last time with the sound design, especially with dialogue and um, maybe how they watered down the exposition
Hmm.
and explaining the science. Maybe that was watered down, and how I don't know. I don't think the character development was as bad as we think it is. I think he just simplified it to tell a basic story, because I think Nolan is he's our generation's one of our generation's great directors, and he's telling his stories, which is what cinema should be. It's like revisiting an old book that you like. He's got different layers, and you said it earlier, he hits the same themes throughout his films with different characters. And I think that's what some of our favorite books do, is that a lot of the characters in the books, they'll go through the same problems and hit those same themes. And I think that's what makes it great, is that it's just layered, a bunch of layers that you don't see until you see it again after a while.
And then you
um
kind of just put all the pieces together.
yeah, and it's not like these comic book movies where you know it's going to happen, and you know it's just that's the pulp of it. It's a layered thing where every time you see it, you're going to notice new things, and you're going to connect things again, and then connect deeper things and be like, okay, that was it's better this time.
It is one of those movies that you definitely have to rewatch and rewatch because you get more and more of that those pieces together. So I guess to go to my next question was, what was the scene that kind of really you were like, whoa, this is like what part of the film were you just like, that's it, like that's great, like that was mm.
It had to be that posterity scene at the end with Pattinson telling him about, we did it, but I'm about to go die, but we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
meet later. That exchange
That
was
little
the
exchange.
one, yeah, where it was like, okay, Nolan, you got me again, bastard, you got me. You? What was the scene for you?
So mine is a little bit before all that. Mine's a little bit more on like the technical than like the, I guess like the character moments. It
Yeah,
had to do with I guess that whole balancing act of that final heist when they're trying to stop the bomb from going off, and you're just seeing Pattinson jumping back and forth, and you're seeing like all the different people going around. You're seeing like the choreography of like people, you know, going backwards. You're seeing what I loved a lot about this film that I had just thought about this the other day is he doesn't really use a whole lot of CGI, or at least I didn't notice a lot of CGI.
mm,
A lot of it is very choreographed. So like some of the people going backwards, even like when they're trying to save the wife, they're moving, you know, forward, and then like other people are moving backwards, and you could tell it was all shot that way. It wasn't like, hey, we're gonna record everybody going forward and then we're gonna reverse it while you guys
yeah,
are going.
practical
Yeah,
effects, yeah,
it was all those practical effects of that final heist. It was very confusing, but also very uh well done in
yeah,
my opinion.
yeah.
And then I guess my last question for the movie is, one of the things that I kind of or one of the theories that I had going in, as well as that I saw people were posting online, were that Neil was actually the kid of the wife.
Yeah,
How do you feel about that theory? Do you think that kind of sits, or that kind of holds some water?
I think so. I feel like it could connect. I don't know if I don't know if it could really uh be a part of Nolan's storytelling, but I see how it could be connected, and I like it. I would
I
be
like it
interested to
too.
see that fleshed out. Yeah.
The one thing that kind of cemented me towards that theory, when she's calling back that memory, when she saw like the woman jumping off of the boat, Robert Pattinson knew the date like right away.
Oh, yep, yep.
And there was no, like, nobody ever brought that up to him. He never knew, you know, she had never told him that story
No.
before. And why would he randomly just know this random piece of information? I mean, he could argue that, you know, maybe because he's a future version, or he's from the future, so he kind of
Yeah.
remembers this mission. But at the same time, it kind of stuck out to him because he was kind of like looking out as John David Washington's character was talking, and he was like, it was this date at this time, and it was like, how the hell would you know that? Like, there's a little piece or a little part where John David Washington's like, you always seem to know things before they happen, or you always seem
Mhm.
to know more than you let on. And I guess that's kind of like their throwaway, like, hey, you know what, you know, maybe this or maybe that. But that's kind of more or less where I was like, hey, this is the kid. One little thing that I saw online was, I think the kid's name is Max, and it's short for like Maximilian. So when you reverse that and you like take like the last four letters, which is hold on, let me see. I think it's Neil. So it's Neil. Yeah. So that's what they're thinking is gonna be like freaking. It's Max from the future coming back or something like that, and that's why they have met, or they might meet, or whatever the hell. And yeah, stuff like that.
You think Warner Brothers will let Nolan tell another story? I think so.
Uh, I think so too. I mean, I know the first weekend it didn't, you know, make a lot of money, but obviously due to COVID and stuff like that, it definitely took a hit. So it cost 205 million to make. Opening weekend they made about 207.5. So they had just barely went 2 million above that worldwide. So I mean, the money's there. Obviously, it's Nolan. A lot of people love Nolan and his time movies or whatever. But I could see Warner Brothers allowing for that to happen. I I guess for me, uh, I can't give it a 9 because I definitely uh, I feel like dialogue has a lot
Yeah.
to do with the movie, and for me, because the dialogue seemed a lot like heavily edited and heavily like they were just reading their lines, like the people didn't even really understand what they were saying. Um, I kind of have to give it like a 7 for that. But everything else, choreography wise, sound design wise, everything else, I thought was phenomenal. I could easily see him uh, winning awards just in that category. Other than that, hey, have you gotten HBO Max?
No, but I'm going to. That's for sure gonna happen. Cause what are we getting, a 4 hour Justice League like
Cut.
chopped up? Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely check that one out, but also one series that I keep telling Jeremy about is the Watchman. I know this is already a series that's been out for probably like about a year now, but my God, is it good, dude? Like, you've seen the original one, I'm sure, right? Like the movie.
The Snyder? Yeah.
Yeah, the Snyder. This movie, I mean, it definitely takes more elements from the comic book than the movie. But if you've seen the movie, you'll grow to appreciate this one. You'll have at least a basic understanding of everything that's going on with the series. And I thought it was so brilliantly done. And speaking of Saw, I was listening to a podcast with the director slash writer of the series, and he was saying how he drew some influences, I believe, from the second or the third Saw, where the big reveal was that everything was right in front of you the whole time. You just didn't know it until the end. So with that Saw movie, it was the one where it's like a bunch of teenagers in like a warehouse, and this whole time you're watching it, and you're also watching like the detective who's like the father of one of the kids. He's seeing like the screens and seeing them go through all their like different trials and tribulations, getting picked off one by one.
Yeah.
But the whole twist was that had happened like about a week ago, and he's there now. And as he's trying to save his son, the son was there in front of him the whole time, slowly dying in a
Damn.
box. Yeah. So that little uh movie influenced some big scenes and big moments in this new series of Watchmen. It's crazy, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it was already on my list, but now you're telling me it has.
And it deals with a lot of kind of like what Tenet deals with in terms of, or in terms of what like Nolan likes to do when it comes to like relativity, because as you know, like Dr. Manhattan, he lives his life everything at the same time. So as we're going through time, he's living every single moment, past, present, future, all at once. It's kind of a weird way to explain it, but they do it so well, especially in the episode of God Walks into a Bar. You're able to kind of witness all the different moments that he's experiencing within those or that hour uh, that we're watching him in the bar. Because present day he's in the bar, but we're also watching it 10 months from there, uh 10 years ago, 30 years from now, and so on. It melds together really well, and it's so beautiful. And if you haven't seen it, definitely check it out.
Oh yeah, okay.
But as far as everything else, man, I mean, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was sick talking Tenet. I did enjoy it. I mean, obviously, like I said, the dialogue was the my main gripe, but it was really enjoyable. I wouldn't mind catching it again.
Yeah, that's for sure gonna happen this week. But yeah, yeah.
How long are you gonna be in El Paso for?
Oh, I'm here for the foreseeable future until I get something else going, but I'll be here for, I want to say the holidays.
Sick, sick. Let me know because I know you had like some film stuff that you wanted to do. Do you have anything that you want to kind of promote or anything that you want to like, hey, check this out or whatever? Hello?
Say
Did
that
you catch?
again.
Do you have anything that you want to like promote or kind of like get out there?
Uh, right now, right now,
No.
I have a bunch of things in the works, and I want to talk to you and Joe about them maybe in the coming weeks because I have a lot. I just got here. I want to get an apartment, and then
Start
I
going
want to
from
set up
there.
shop with you guys. Yeah.
Sounds good, man. Yeah. Keep in touch and for sure. As always, guys, stay sunny and I'll see you guys in a bit. But for Jeremiah, it was nice talking movies with you, man.
Hell
It's
yeah.
been a while.
Anytime. Anytime. Yeah.
See you later, man.
Laters.
Hey, and welcome back to episode 70 of the All of a Sudden podcast. I'm being joined right now by Blad from Blad's Vlogs and also his
Yeah,
Twitch stream.
yeah.
Was it
It's
is it
Action Bladson. You can go to Twitch TV/action_Bladson.
little underscore right there?
Yeah, Joe,
we'll
get
add
to
that.
editing, bro.
I know. Get into get that post going, man.
Give me that
Uh,
shameless plug, baby.
exactly. So how have you been, man? I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while since episode 50.
Dude, it's been 20 episodes.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was like last month.
No, it's been. I think when we had you on, it was towards the beginning of the pandemic, and then obviously like now we're what month is this? Like month 8, 9, 10,000? I don't even
Yeah,
remember, man.
I think we're on the ninth circle of hell.
Oh, no freaking doubt about that. So what have you been up to, like in terms of like your vlogs or like your Twitch streaming? Like what kind of games have you been playing?
I've just been playing like a lot of Warzone. This last week actually. I don't know if you've known, but or I don't know if you heard, but an old popular game, Left 4 Dead 2, it got a update on PC, bro.
What?
Yes, after 10
What?
years, it got a update, and
So
it was like a
is
sick
it the
update.
original Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2?
It was Left 4 Dead 2, but
Okay.
like it pretty much has like both games inside right now because of like the way it's updated, and
That,
it has like all the characters from the first one, and then
okay.
you get to play, yeah.
So you've played it obviously, right?
Yeah.
Is it like okay, without skipping a beat from like the last game to the new one, or is there like a time displacement? Like are the characters like aged up 5 years, 6 years, or whatever?
Well, the game actually didn't really have like a big story mode or anything like that. Um, it's just kind of like the same thing. It's just they added like levels to it. But it was really cool knowing that, Valve did something after 10 years.
Yep. And that it's actually like making a comeback. Like I
Yeah,
remember
dude.
in the early days when we would hang out at Carlos's house, it was always just it was either Halo or Left 4 Dead. And we were always just like, who shot the witch or jockey, like get this freaking guy off of me or the bloaters and all that other stuff. So yeah, man. Obviously like talking video games, were you able to snag a PS5 or an Xbox?
Dude, I actually did snag a PS5 and super excited about it.
Mhm.
But right now it's looking like I might take an L on that shit cuz on my card statement, it's actually like it was showing pending for like the longest time, and I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna say pending until I
They
guess it
take the
gets
money.
fucking confirmed.
Mhm.
Some places what they do is they take the money and then they refund the money back to you, and then when it ships, they charge you again.
Yeah, they just want to make sure that the money's there.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that's what it's doing, but my friend that's working at Best Buy, he's like telling me, he's like, yeah, dude, just get prepared to take a fucking L on that shit. So
I
I'm
know
like,
a lot of us missed out on it. I know me and Joe were talking about it in length in the last episode about how, I don't know, like Sony kind of dropped a bet on it. I agree, you know, obviously I should have been a lot smarter, but I was watching the video and I never saw a release date, and I was right there at the GameStop. I should have just pulled in just in case, but I don't know, man. I just dropped the ball on that hard. When the Xbox came out, though, I kind of got the notification right away, and I was in line, but because it was through a service I had never used before, I didn't have all my information saved. Plus, on top of that, uh, I had gotten jacked earlier, so I had new card information. Because usually when I'm doing it on my phone, it'll be like auto input like your card, but it had my old card, so I had to redo all that. And by the time I got all that stuff done, it was already sold out, and I was like, man, this sucks. I just can't catch a break. I should have, I don't know, should have just been more prepared about that.
yeah. Um, I'm gonna give you like my most honest input about this right
Uh-huh.
now. I'm not too bummed out if I don't get the PS5 or
Yeah.
anything. Mostly got it because I know Selena wants it, and
Mhm.
you know she plays on it mostly. But dude, ever since I built my PC, like I have not even touched my PS4 like for shit
I
at
can feel
all.
that. I can feel that.
And I don't know, like I'm not saying like, oh yeah, PC master race or anything like that. It's just that like, especially with like the specs and everything that's coming out, like I could see why everybody was like super excited about it. Obviously, you know, PS5 next gen, they had a bunch of badass games. Um, I just have like much more fun now that I know I can run the games differently on PC, especially because I can tweak like so many more settings.
Hmm.
I feel like it brought my gaming to like another fucking level, dude.
Have you messed around with any GoPros at all? Like, I know you have your setup, and I know you have like that real nice camera, but the GoPro 9 came out I think this past week, and I was like really thinking about getting it. I like it a lot because unlike the 8, it's a lot more customizable. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I actually was looking into it and I like that it's modular.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
it's cool that they added like a little bit better features like for the little front screen.
Mhm.
The only thing that I kind of have, I guess, against the GoPro is that at the end of the day, like it's not a vlogging camera. For around the same price, you could get a pretty good starter vlogging, like PowerShot or Sony, you know, or G7X, like a used one or some shit.
Yeah.
Like at that point, you might as well just get a good vlogging camera, you know.
So, so I
But
guess like how say I want to start a vlog, or say I want to be able to take this podcast on the go. What would be like a good I guess starter set to go with, even if it's used or new or whatever.
um, well, if we leave quality, like just HD or like 1080p or whatever,
Yeah, 1080p.
um, I would probably say if you find like a Sony A50-100, you could probably find them for around the same price as the GoPro 9. Only thing is that like you might find them cheaper only because I think like that camera is highly recommended still to this day as like a vlogging camera.
Yeah, I think I had
However,
one a while back before I dropped it.
yeah, dude. Apart like besides all that, the only thing I would see that you wouldn't get compared to like the 9, the GoPro 9, is like the whole 4K thing.
Oh yeah, I was reading up that you get I think yeah, it is like 4 or 5K. And I think another thing that you really benefit with the GoPros, because obviously they know their audience, like they know that GoPros are a lot more for like that active lifestyle and all that other stuff. I think it has some of the best stabilization like to this day. I was watching some videos on it where it smooths out like a lot of the, like even a dude who was like on a mountain bike or going through like a very bumpy road, it was smooth. It was very like seamless. Like he showed you the difference between like a regular, like even like your phone camera, and you could see it like right away. Whereas like when it was the GoPro, it just looked flat. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Like that those cameras can do like optical image stabilization. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I think that's super, super, super cool. I honestly, man, I just hate the battery life on them. That's my biggest
That,
pet peeve about them.
I've been hearing stuff like that about it too, but I heard that this one has like 30% more than the previous one. And almost every time that I run into like a GoPro, that's always one of the things that I always see them working on. It's like longer battery life, longer battery life, longer battery life. So obviously from probably like the first one or whatever generation, uh this one's gonna be a little more better, I guess, because 30% is nothing to really laugh at. I mean, I'd understand if it was maybe like 10%. That's something you can maybe see, but not really. But 30%, that could be something like if it's like an 8-hour battery life, then 30% is an extra like hour or two on top of that. So I don't know. You got any closing thoughts or closing statements?
Um, no, I don't. I don't really have a lot of like things to add on. I mostly want to like let everybody know that this is gonna sound really like cheesy, but like if you're thinking about doing something, don't think about it. Just do it. Cause like
Oh,
throughout this whole COVID thing, dude, like I've talked to a lot of my friends and like some acquaintances and some people that I've just met, even myself, dude. Some people are like, dude, I've been thinking about becoming a photographer and this and that, or I've been thinking about doing videos and flying my drone, all this crazy shit. I'm like, dude, I've been doing it, and the biggest thing that I could tell you is like, just do it. They're being like, oh, it takes money to do it and this and that. It's like, I mean, yeah, a lot of things take money nowadays, but the thing is that you might not even wake up tomorrow. So like, I think you'd feel a lot better saying like, hey, I tried it,
yeah,
than
it's
to fucking.
better. It's always better to have at least get that closure of like, hey, I at least tried to do my dream, or I tried to um take it the next step, rather than, oh, what if especially like you were saying, like with this COVID pandemic, you know it makes sense to take advantage of all this extra time that we have. And on top of all that, like, I know we have a lot of people out there like dealing with like depression and all this other stuff, and the best way that you can kind of even combat that is just to like stay busy, and do the things that you love, and like go out and try something, rather than just lay to waste, on your bed, thinking like, oh, what if, or maybe I could, but what if I fail, or something like that. It's always better to just keep going.
If you're really like trying to do it, like just get out of your head first of all, because I know a lot of people were like I said, oh, it takes money, it takes equipment, this and that. In all reality, dude, like you literally have most of the free tools in the world out there. You just have to go find them.
Yeah,
So like,
this is
just
one of
just
them
do
right
it, guys.
there.
Hell yeah, like, dude, you're probably listening on a phone, a laptop, computer. And what a great way than to download Anchor FM.
I know, I was just about to be like, yeah, dude, you're already giving me like the throwaway tagline.
Right?
Honestly though, I mean, if if uh if you do want to start your podcast, obviously the best place to go is Anchor. That's not just because they pay us to sponsor them or whatever, but it's really made recording podcasts like so much more easier.
Just even like being a guest on like your podcast and stuff. Like I
Mhm.
actually really enjoy it, dude. Like whether you guys have like two fucking people listening or like one person or like zero, like I'm super always down to do it, because
Yeah,
I just like I guess knowing that people take chances to do shit.
yeah. So as we were saying, just keep going, guys. Like, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Um, I guess with that, as always, guys, stay sunny. Thank you for tuning in to all of a sudden episode 70. Thank you, Blad, for stopping by. Thank you, Jeremiah, for stopping by earlier and talking Tenet with me. And thank you to Joe, or F you, Joe. And I hope you have a hard time editing this podcast, especially with all the F-bombs from both
Yeah,
Jeremiah, me,
you, Joe.
and Blad.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
But have a good time, everybody. Keep moving forward. Don't let your dreams be dreams. And as always, stay tuned.
Just do it.
do the freaking Shia LaBeouf.
Was it this
Hey
one?
guys.
No, wait, that's okay.